What's up, YouTube? I know it's been a while since I made a video. Just want to let you guys know what's going on with Turo and how things have been. It's been actually really slow lately. I mean, really slow. It's kind of like a Turo crash going on. A lot of reasons and theories and stuff like that going out there to what's going on. I definitely feel like it's something on Turo's behalf, and I feel like Turo did this to themselves. I've noticed a lot is they're charging a lot of fees when they're definitely letting customers book. They're trying to double up on their money, so they're charging a lot of trip fees. Some cases I've seen people being charged as much as the trip fee as the actual trip costs. So if it's like a $300 trip, they're charging them $300 just for actually booking the trip, which is ridiculous. And all that money is going directly to Turo. The hosts aren't seeing any of that money, which really makes sense because it's just hurting our business. Why would somebody want to rent a car from us and pay us a trip fee and then pay us and delivery fees and all this other stuff when they can just go to Hertz or Enterprise or Dollar and rent a similar car for much less? At the time when we did great was because they didn't have rental cars, so people came flocking to Turo all of a sudden because it was the only option available. But right now, the rental cars have their cars back. They've been able to replenish their fleets. They're doing really good. They cut their prices. It's killing us. Turo really needs to adjust. It's not a good time for the hosts. I mean, my cars right now are renting for very low rates. I mean, I was renting the $100 a day to now I'm renting my SUVs for $40 a day, doing free delivery to the airport, and I still can't get rentals. I'm lucky if my car is rented 2 weekends out of the month, which it was rented every single weekend, and at good rates. The other day I had a rental, and it was a rental that somebody booked back in the summer, and it was like a $400 or $500 rental just for the weekend, when I'm literally renting my car for 3 days and not even making $100 now. So the things is that it's really changed. The market has completely flipped. I'm really hoping things will start to pick up in November and December when people start traveling and moving about. But this is the worst I've seen it. This is like pretty much when the pandemic just started and we had some really slow months when there was really like no travel and a lot of restrictions. And this is very similar to that. And it's really getting to the point where it's starting to be, is it worth it anymore? If things don't pick up, I mean, we've had almost 2 really slow months. September has been slow. October is slow. When are we going to pick up? Is November going to pick up? Is December going to pick up? What they usually do? A lot of people traveling. If they don't, is it worth it anymore? I mean, luckily I didn't overinvest. I had a feeling that this was not going to be something that was going to be sustainable. Turo came out with this new process that, hey, put a car on the platform, we're going to give you $2,000 extra, blah blah blah. But it had like a million restrictions on there. It has so much fine print. You have to make this many rentals. It has to be this. You can't take any cars off. It's going to be so hard to get that because right now nobody has rentals. You have to have a perfect report. Everything has to be, handy dandy, and then you'll get this $2,000 extra. Not really. And cars are super expensive. I mean, it is insane. You can't even go buy a Hyundai Elantra right now without paying over MSRP. There's no incentives. There's no 0% financing. It's just not a good time to buy a car. Used cars are super expensive. And the crazy thing is, so many people came into the Turo game. I just don't get it. And a lot of people have over leveraged themselves. I'm reading on Reddit and other things about these guys that bought like 12 cars, 14 cars. They leased them, or they did something, or they financed them, and they got just payments alone of $4,000 or $5,000 a month that they can't make because their cars aren't renting. it's just, the leveraging yourself out that bad on a business and going all in is so risky. And in the summertime, it looked like it was the best decision ever because, oh my God, my car was renting for $120 a day. Yeah, but people had no choice. It was either pay you $120 or pay Hertz $400. So of course they're gonna pay you $120. It was they thought it was a deal of a lifetime. They got to rent your car and they got their travel. People were begging me for rentals in the summer. Like I had random messages coming through the Turo app. Just give me your car. I'll pay you $100 extra. I'll pay you all this. That kind of stuff was going on, but it's not that way anymore. And I had a feeling that it was only going to be short-lived. A lot of things are short-lived. Not everything lasts forever. As someone who's been renting his car for 3 years, I've kind of gotten, the gist of it, of how it happens. So I'll just share some couple of things. I screwed up the other day. I haven't screwed up in a while. This is the first time I've ever done this in my 3 years. I completely blew it. I lost the rental and I had to cancel it. And it was a great rental. It was a summer rental, so it was a high rental that somebody booked. I felt really bad. I had been working a lot. I was really exhausted. And I had a rental. I had 2 rentals. Both my cars rented. And the rush of, I didn't check everything. I dropped the car off at the airport, put my lock on it and everything like that, went to sleep. Took my pictures, uploaded them, went to sleep. In the morning, I get a call from the renter, where's my car? And I say, I parked at the airport, blah, blah. I gave you all the spots. She said, no, I'm at the other airport. I'm like, oh shit. So I literally dropped the car off at the wrong airport. And that was 100% my fault. And I told her I'll pay for your Uber to deliver it to that airport, whatever, to have you taken to the airport. She said no. She wanted to cancel the rental. So I lost the rental. I told her I'll cancel it on my behalf because it's my fault. I screwed up. And yeah, I lost a good chunk of money. That was after I bought a car and I thought I could resell it, but then I didn't feel like ripping somebody off and selling them a bad car. So I put it up in a local auction and I lost about $1,000 on that car too. Crazy thing, this all happened on my birthday. So, some days you have some crappy days. And you can't blame anybody but yourself, and you're not going to win all the time. I had a lot of wins. And I definitely had a lot of losses, so it happens. It just reminds me, a lot of the times what people do with rentals. Like I had one of my stories here about somebody renting a vehicle from me and burning out the tires, and me not noticing it till about a week or 2 later. And so the guy was like maybe a $400 or $500 rental, but I had to go buy 2 tires. So I spent like over $300 on 2 tires because this guy burnt them out. So I literally didn't really make any money that rental. And I don't know why the guy did it. It wasn't on a car that's a sports car. It wasn't a Dodge Charger or Challenger. He probably just did it to spite me, He literally just burned out my front wheel drive tires. And those are the type of things that, you make a mistake, you live and you learn. And you move on in this business. But if you guys are looking to get in, or if you're looking to grow your fleet, be cautious. Be careful about it. It's always tempting to go all in. You got to prove for a car. All right, let me go crazy about it. No, let's not go crazy about it. Let's take your time. You don't want to overpay for a car. If right now the market is so high, if you're paying a lot for a vehicle, you're just killing your profit. I'm seeing cars, especially like Dodges, Fords, even, just basic vehicles that never were used to have crazy incentives. Hey, come look at this car. We're doing, $1 off or $10 or something off per horsepower. Now are selling for $10,000 over MSRP because the dealers are just adding random. This is we don't have enough chips out there, so we have to charge $10,000 more on this vehicle. You know, that $10,000 you're eventually gonna have to pay. It's gonna add up, plus the other fees. So if you bought a $40,000 car and you end up spending $55,000 on that car, you're not gonna make your money back. You're always gonna lose on that vehicle. Just to break even, you're gonna have to rent constantly, and it's not gonna be worth it. It's a huge risk. So my advice is to be very careful, be very wary. If you're buying used cars, it's also tough. Used cars are very expensive right now, and it's hard to find a good used car. There's a lot of lemons out there now, so I don't know which way to sway people. It's something you got to be really careful with. You got to take your time, make the right choices, do your research, buy a good car. If you buy a used car, try to get someone that has a warranty or certified pre-owned or something, because another thing that's gone up a lot with all this car stuff is car parts. Car parts are very expensive now. Just tires have gone up, and it's just our cost of living and inflation, everything is going up. So, you know, you don't want to go into a business where everything is going up in cost, but then your rental rates are coming down. It doesn't make any sense. You don't want to go into it where, you know, you're renting your car for 35 or 40 bucks a day and it's a brand new car. You want to get a BMW or a Mercedes, fine if you can find one, but understand, be careful. There's a lot of people out there that say, hey, I just lease a car and it works for me. I got all these cars and I lease them. Well, you know, you have to have a very high mileage lease. And in my experience, I would say 90% of my rentals, they drive 100 miles per day. That's the minimum, 100 miles per day. So if you got a lease and your car leases out for 15 days out of the month, that's 1,500 miles. That doesn't include the days you're going to drive it or something else. I mean, and that's if nobody drives it what they're allowed, 200 miles a day. So, I mean, you got to anticipate your car's going to be driven 1,500 or 2,000 miles a month. So 24,000 miles a year. 24,000 miles a year times 3 is 72,000 miles. There's no lease for 72,000 miles. The highest lease you could probably get that a dealer will give you is 54,000 miles. And they don't really like giving those kind of leases. You could try for a 45,000 mile lease after 3 years. But yeah, it's going to be tough to get. And so you always got to watch your mileage. What are you going to do? You're going to park the car for a couple years? You just got to be careful. If you're going to buy a car, really, really look at the resale rates. There are some cars that are just amazing in resale right now. But the problem is all those cars that are amazing in resale, the dealers know about them. They're not stupid. So they know that what their cars are going for. So that's why they're charging these premiums. You know, if you want to buy a Jeep, you're going to pay a premium. If you want to buy a Dodge, you're going to pay a premium. You know, you want to buy the new, any type of Ford, Bronco, or Maverick, or, you know, this Mach-E. Any of these kind of cars, guess what? Dealers know. A lot of people want them. There's not a lot of quantity. They have great resale value. A Corvette, anything like that, they're going to charge you a skyrocketing premium. I mean, right now, I've heard that some deep dealers are charging $14,000 to $15,000 over MSRP to sell you a Jeep. That's bananas. And I know, because they know that it's not going to come down in value and it's going to have great resale rate. Same thing with a Dodge Challenger or a Dodge Charger. If you got a SRT8, or if you got a Scat Pack, or if you got a, you know, a Hellcat, guess what? They're selling for what their used ones are selling for what new ones sell for. Dealers know that. That's why dealers are buying back used ones for whatever price they can get. Because they know that they can sell a used one for the same damn price as a new one. So you're going to end up paying a lot more for a new one. So, I mean, just look at your cars, be careful, be smart, take all the proper steps. But the market is tough. I still enjoy it. I still love taking care of my cars. I still like to take care of all my people that are renting. My renters, I want to make sure they have a 5-star experience. I'm still an all-star host. And keep it up out there. If you guys got any questions, concerns, let me know. And if you can, subscribe, like the channel. I still haven't made any money from YouTube, but hopefully if I can get enough viewers, I can actually start making money from this, which would be nice. All right, thanks.